Hello, Sharif here. And today we're going to be talking about what's important in your life and what's important in our lives and how we forget it and then how we can remember it. Um, I have to say that now this is the live portion of a live stream, and I'm in the middle of making some ginger chicken. In my, I'm doing it with a slow cooker, and it won't be ready for another hour or so. But my entire apartment smells like ginger chicken, so I'm going to be looking forward to that. If you were here and if we were really live, you could have some. And if not, but well, because it's not, you can enjoy me enjoying it. Um, uh, as usual, we're going to get started with our meditation, and I'm going to see how I'm going to do that this time because I'm using my timer for some. I'm using my timer for my ginger chicken, but I've got it now. Ta-da! And let's get our ticker going. And the ticker is just to remind us that our focus on our meditation is not on ourselves. The focus on the meditation is on all humans and all living beings, all of us sharing one consciousness. I don't own a consciousness. I'm borrowing this consciousness from the 8 billion I'm sharing it with the 8 billion humans on the planet and the trillions and trillions and trillions of other beings, living beings with me, all of us sharing, and us trying to become more conscious of that sharing. Okay, so let's get started. And as we normally start, if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. We will get um, our digital candle going here. And take a deep breath, let it out. Take another deep breath, let it out with a sigh. And I did that, I just felt a tingle, so I'm going to do that again. Deep breath. Feel your body calm down. Feel yourself becoming one with all. And it's time for us to come back from our meditation. Um, if it's okay with you, you can open your eyes and be ready to rejoin our group. So I'm going to go to a graphic that I hope is going to show up. And I'll tell you what the graphic is. And it's especially pertinent since I was just talking about our digestive process. I was talking about my ginger chicken, and that will soon be subjected to my digestive process. And I want to share a graphic by someone named Slava Dobrov. I don't know this person. It showed up on my LinkedIn feed. I want to show you their handiwork. And I will narrate using their narration. And I may wind up showing this to you a couple of times because I want this to really seep in for you. Okay. So here we go. Which button gets pushed first here? Let's push this one first. Okay. And in the graphic, you see guts. And in his narration, he says, digestion begins in the mouth. Whoops, wrong one. Shoot. And I'll pause this. And I will switch graphics. Stop the screen. Share the screen. How about this one? And let's start this over. Because this gets pretty darn graphic here. And we come into this from the some food entering the stomach here. So he says, it won't go. He says, digestion begins in the mouth, which he doesn't show, where food is chewed and mixed with saliva, starting the breakdown process. The chewed food then travels down the esophagus to the stomach, where acids further break it down. In the stomach, enzymes and gastric juices work together, turning food into a semi-liquid form. Let's watch it again. The mixture moves to the small intestine, where most nutrient absorption occurs. The small intestine uses enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver to aid in digestion. Undigested food and waste products then pass into the large intestine. And you see it going in the large intestine right now. Finally, the large intestine absorbs water and minerals, forming solid waste that is excreted from the body. Okay, we don't need to see that anymore. That was really well done. Okay, and I'm not taking anything from Slava Dobrov in saying that was really well done. And it is horribly incomplete. Because those of you who are on the last holonic laboratory know that the diagram missed something like 12 trillion beings who are actually digesting your food for you. This image of the See if I can bring it back up here. Uh, this image the of your digestive system consisting only of cells that belong to you is horribly incomplete. And there's a reason that it's incomplete. There's a reason I'm talking about this right now. And there's a reason for this being incomplete. It's because we, with our breaker consciousness, don't pay attention to any beings other than ourselves. When we exclude beings who have a different skin color, we call that racism. If we exclude beings who have different genitalia, we call that sexism. If we exclude beings who are living on different pieces of dirt around the world, we call that nationalism. What we need to do is refer to all of this as the name that we use with Commonwealth, which is exclusivity. By excluding other beings, you can only have a partial view of the world. By excluding other beings, you are only partially correct when you think about the world. We have to learn how to think about the world in a completely different way. Those of us who have been doing Commonwealth for a while know I've been beating us over the head with this to the extent that some of the beating over the head is starting to sink in, which is a good thing. I want to. So one of the things I was saying in the laboratory is that we need to honor all the beings that make us up. We tend to ignore them, or when they get our attention by doing something that is not normal, we kill them. Real simple. If I eat too much ginger chicken, I get a stomach ache. You take Pepto-Bismol and you kill all the organisms in your gut, and everything is fine then. And everything is not fine, but you ignore that part too. What we need to do is stop ignoring ourselves. Stop ignoring all of the aspects of ourselves. So let me tell you another story. And this is something that happened to me some years ago when I was doing some work in Uganda that was supported and funded by the United Nations. And there were 4 or 5 UN assistants that traveled with me. I didn't know at the time was to take over my workshop if I said the wrong thing, but they were there as observers. This was a week-long workshop, and there were 20 or 30 middle managers from throughout Eastern and Southern Africa, who were at this location to get my workshop. And we were in the second or third day, so we knew each other pretty well, and we had just finished eating breakfast together. I should say me and most of the Africans had just finished eating breakfast together. The 4 or 5 people who had traveled with me from Europe, they weren't in the room yet. And one of them bustles in and looks at me and says to me, "Is anybody else here yet?" And I stopped. Everybody heard him. Okay. I stopped and I said, I looked over at the Africans And then I looked back at him and said, no, there's no one here. And he says, okay, well, I'll be back in a minute. And he runs back out of the room. And we all did what people of color do when white people act like that. And I said, no, one of the Africans said, he does not see. And I said, yep. And that's why I do the workshops and trainings that I do, to help people like that see. And he said, no, 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 you do not understand. He said, he does not see. He cannot see. He can never see. We have to see for him, but he doesn't understand that. And that is the entire problem. And when he said that at breakfast, he blew my mind. It took me, actually, it's taken me a long time, and I'm still not together from that experience. What he said was that all of us human beings are in some way blind. All of us human beings are in some way not able to perceive the world, not able to perceive reality. And we have to depend on other people, other beings to see for us. But in our arrogance, in our breaker arrogance, I think I see everything. I think I know everything. I think I've got a handle on everything, and I don't. And because I don't, I go doing things that should not be done and not doing the things that should be done. And that's the whole problem. I want to emphasize that part. That is the entire problem that we have on our planet right now. We make the mistake of calling some parts of this blindness climate change. We call some parts of this blindness racism. We call some parts of this blindness nationalism. We call some parts of this blindness violence. It's all the same thing. And because most of us don't approach it as one problem with one cause and with one solution, we go running around scurrying, trying to affect climate change and not getting very far. And we spend time trying to stop violence and war and not getting very far. And we keep doing these things without understanding that the problem isn't the behavior that I have that causes climate change. The problem is the consciousness that led to the behavior that caused the climate change. We want to solve the problem without addressing the problem, which is a failed strategy, but it doesn't stop us from continuing to do the same thing over and over again. So our challenge is, how can we stop doing this? What's the mechanism that we're going to use in our world, in our lives, to stop the process of doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, with the wrong results, and with the wrong people, leading to further degradation of our world, further degradation of our societies, and further degradation of our own hearts? Well, because we're doing this, we're not going to do that. We're doing something else. What we're doing is connecting ourselves together and patching in to a holonic consciousness, a consciousness of the whole. Once we do that, from that position of our consciousness, we can begin to see the world in a vastly different way. And we can begin to act in that world in a new a new framework, a new um, set of behaviors. It's like seeing the world anew. Um, let me before we leave the story in Africa. I want to leave that story on a hopeful note. So, my friend Nick, who, after he made his statement about he does not see, he said, people like that have been treating people like us that way for a long time. He said, we had colonialism, we had slavery, we had neocolonialism, and he said, we have whatever we've got right now. But he said, this has been going on for 500 years. But 500 years isn't that long a period of time. We're going to work it out. And that was one of the most hopeful, positive things that I'd heard in a long time, and maybe ever. Given 500 years of oppression on a geologic level, on a divine level, on the level of our true reality, it's not that long. We're going to work it out. We're going to change our consciousness into the kind of consciousness that can last for the next, let's say, 4 or 5 millennia. Okay, let's think in our real lifespan. 5 or 10,000 years. Most of us are thinking about tomorrow and how I can survive tomorrow. For some of us, how I can make more money tomorrow for too many of us, as opposed to how can I contribute my consciousness into the consciousness of the whole. And from the whole, that whole will last forever. The individual parts of it won't, but that whole will last forever. And we will be able to make the changes to human beings, to all other beings, to life itself, that will help us to grow into the beings that we need to be. Okay, let me share a couple of thoughts with you and maybe actually end on time for a change. I talked before about the work that I've been doing to put together the unlisted, not public videos that are in the Common Way Vault, and those are for sale right now. I am pleased to say a number of you have been purchasing them, and there are four ways of acquiring it. One way is just to sign up for a free the parts of the video archive that are free. They're still free, and when you sign up, you get access to my top 5 videos. I mean, the ones that have been the most popular, and the ones that you may want to review. I was just talking to one of my neighbors, one of my apartment neighbors, and he said, on the job, I showed your TED Talk video and everybody loved it. I'm like, cool. So you'll if you sign up for the free level, you'll be able to do the TED Talk video with your office friends. Um, the basic level gets you a few um, of the most. Um, it's hard for me to talk like this because I think all my children are good looking, but the three of the most insightful and three of the most pertinent workshop series. Um, the advanced level gets you a lot more videos, and the premium level will get you just about everything. Um, one other thing that you get is for the first 20 people who sign up, these three pocketbooks that I've got right here. Searching for Depth, Sips on the River of Wisdom, and Be More Silent. These are a great size to fit in your pocket and carry with you, and be constantly reminding yourself of wisdom as opposed to constantly reminding yourself of all of the nonsense that is going on in the world. This just happened today. I went to a new to me restaurant, and I spend time. How do I look? What table can I locate myself at that doesn't have a TV screen in front of it? I don't want somebody else's thoughts in my head unless I want to put them there. This is my choice. It's my head. What a concept. Uh, so the first of you who uh, buy one of the three paid packages, the basic, the advanced, or the premium, will get those three pocketbooks. Now, I've already sold some, and so some of these are already gone. This is the first 20. You should be registering. I'm going to wrap up as this is my attempt at doing things on time before I think of something else that I need to say with this. Yeah, no holonic laboratory on Saturday. No more of them for the rest of this year. I'll bring them back in 2024. I look forward to talking to you again on next Tuesday. May all beings be well. May all beings be secure. May all beings be happy. I hope you remember that as you live as you go through your lives over the next week, the next few days, and I'll see you early next week, next Tuesday. Thanks a lot. Bye.